Okay, this question is a continuation of this. So the two substances needed for photosynthesis besides light and chlorophyll are water and carbon dioxide. Okay, this is actually, I request students to memorize page 31 of my book. Later, I'll showcase to you page 31 of my book, what it means. Okay, this one is easier to remember. Just remember that the inner tube, right, is more protected by the stem. So the inner tube is the water carrying tubes. The outer tubes is called the food carrying tubes. Okay. So let's continue with the next question. Number 7. I will pause for a while. Okay, as I mentioned, the page 31 of my book is actually refers to this part. As you can see, page 31. I have published this book to help students understand the important concepts. So you can see from here, in the process of photosynthesis, light, chlorophyll, water, and carbon dioxide are needed. So in the presence of this in a plant, right, glucose, which is commonly called sugar or food, is produced, and also oxygen is being released. And conversely, in the process of respiration, which happens in all living things, sugar combined with oxygen to produce energy, and the waste product are carbon dioxide and water. So do take note, you can actually get a copy of my book if you do not have. And let's continue back to the questions from here. Okay, number 7. Okay, number 7, you got to understand the ice cubes will actually lower the temperature of the air inside. So you should mention like something that will cause it to lose heat. Okay, that's the hint for that, because it explains how the balloon increase in size. So what I can do is using this technique called annotation, because as you see here, the balloon is actually smaller in size here, but here is bigger. And if you read carefully, the opening of the balloon was fitted over the mouth. So that means this part, the air from the outside can enter. Okay, so what is happening in this experiment is because the ice cubes here around the flask, this is a conical flask, causes the air inside the flask to lose heat and contract. So the air, although it's invisible, we can't see, but it's contracting in size. So as it contracts in size, more air can enter to the balloon. Okay, so your answer is should be presented in this manner. Okay, the air in the flask lost heat to the ice cubes and contracted. Therefore, more air from the surrounding can enter the balloon, then move into the flask to take up the space previously occupied by the air in the flask. Thus, the size of the balloon increase. Okay, so this is an explanation for a 2 marks question. So you must mention this important thing. The air in the flask lost heat to the ice cubes and contracted. So that's number 1. Okay. Next, more air from the surrounding can enter the balloon. Number 2. Okay. To take up the space previously occupied by the air. Previously occupied by the air in the flask. Because this part is actually referring to this section here. Because the air contracted, so the balloon can expand bigger. Okay, because of this, right? Okay, this next question is, you need to take note because they ask you, what will happen to the mass and volume of air in the flask surrounding the balloon? Okay, in the flask surrounding the balloon is actually which area? There's been this seal up area here, this part. Okay, the seal up area, which I like to draw and show you, is actually this part, okay? This part. Because this part is sealed up, because the balloon, that means the air cannot escape. So since the air cannot escape, right? So the mass of air should remain constant, but the volume has decreased. So you should put these two ticks, okay? Remain constant and decrease. So this is actually a question which I have modified. This question came out in 2020, in this SEP school, PHPPS, Pei Hwa Presbyterian Primary School, question number 40. Okay. So before the next question, I will do a pause here and then we'll continue in the next slide.